So, we begin our adventure in the bustling coastal city of Hawks Hollow, on the southeast edge of the continent known as Rem. Hawks Hollow is known for its major fishing and shipping enterprises. The Raven's Roost is where we're going to see the first of our adventurers show up. That would be Helm and Bren. So you two are riding into town seeking something, adventures. You don't know, you're just free of your obligations recently, and you've been traveling together. And you are stopping here at the Raven's Roost as kind of the stepping off point for your travels right now. So you get your two horses into the inn, or the stable that's kind of nestled next to the inn, and head inside. And that's where we see at least one of the next people. When you guys walk in, you notice that off to your right there is a bar kind of in line with the doorway you just walked in, and there is a average sized middle-aged man, balding, long white apron stained with different black marks and red stains, a little bit of obviously like some kind of alcohol, like ale or beer, spilled down the front and dried on there. It's just messy. And he is filling up a mug of ale or some other kind of drink and handing it off to a small, almost child-sized woman, and she heads over and hands the drinks to a couple of gentlemen sitting at a table. So, Helm and Brent, what are you doing from here?
Helm's gonna go to the bar and order an ale.
Right.
I
Bartender?
feel like I should probably take this armor off before I get inside.
All right. So you're gonna are you gonna take it off outside, or are you gonna come inside and take it off?
Outside.
Okay. So, so Bren, you are spending the next half hour doffing your armor as Helm heads
It would
inside.
be nice to have a little help in here. Out here. Outside.
Helm, do you help him? Before you head in, do you help him take off his
Helm
armor?
Sits there and contemplates and says out loud, "Beer or armor? Beer? Armor? Beer." Helm goes inside.
All right.
Classic.
So as Bren spends the next 25 to 30 minutes, he's pretty skilled at this, has done it pretty often. So I would say maybe 20 minutes or so to get everything off and set aside properly. Helm, you walk up to the bartender, and he goes and says, "What can I help you with?"
I need a pint of your finest ale.
Pint of my finest ale. It's all my finest ale. That's going to be 4 copper.
4 copper, I'll give you 3.
3 copper. Okay. He does that, and then he says that's fine. And as you slide the 3 copper across the table, he takes a mug off the top shelf. There's a small notch in the glass, kind of like an angled, like broken piece off of it. And he goes off to the far right side of this row of casks. You got about 6 casks there. And the far right-hand cask, it's just dark and dingy looking, and part of the wood is cracked on one side, and there's a little stain on the floor from where it's been dripping, and he just pours your ale from this cask. And then sets it on the table in front of you, or the bar in front of you. Here you go. Here's your 3 copper ale.
I got kicked out of Roll20. Hold on. But I'm going to do an inside check to see if he's doing something bad to me. Can I just roll that?
You break
Is
it
that
up.
okay? Can I just roll the insight check in Discord?
Sure.
All right.
Dice rolls.
Oops. Looks good to me.
It looks like every other ale that's been poured.
All right. I'm going to just take one giant swig of that ale.
That ale tastes like ale.
Thank God for that.
So there are some stools positioned along the bar, kind of like a bar you'd see at a restaurant. And then there's also a handful of tables. I'd say probably about 10 tables, kind of haphazardly positioned off to the left of the door when you walk in. And that's the majority of the inn over there. You see, like I said, about 8 to 10 tables. And then in the back, there is like the far back corner. So back to your left, there's a fireplace, like a big hearth fireplace and a big chimney that goes out the back. It's one of those really deep ones, kind of like a pizza oven.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that is burning. And as you, do you want to go sit at a table or you want to sit at the bar?
I'm going to go sit at a table that's just hard enough to find, where Bren is sitting at the doorway looking for a few seconds. So
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna go to the one that's just inside the door to the left, like all the way back to the
yes,
left.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay. As you wander back, as you turn around from the barn, wander back, you see there are a couple customers in here. The halfling female had gone and delivered a couple of mugs of ale to two gentlemen sitting on the far wall from you, kind of near the fireplace. And there is just another gentleman sitting by himself at a different table, and you see this dog wandering kind of just around the area, kind of from table to table, nuzzling up against people's hands, like getting, affection and pets from the different customers, and maybe begging a snack off of them as the dog wanders by. And then you see the halfling wander back into the back of the bar. Whoa, who's doing stuff?
That was me. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm testing macro.
All right. As you sit down, all right. All right, so you're sitting at a table enjoying your normal ale, avoiding the chipped, cracked mug section. Nothing happens. You see the dog continue to wander from table to table. It wanders up to you at one point, just kind of nuzzles up next to you. And you continue to see the halfling female kind of wander around. She wanders up to your table at a different point and asks if you need anything.
Anything you need?
No, I'm all.
All right. Well, if you think of anything, let me know.
Thank you.
And as she leaves the table, Bren finally makes his way into the bar. Bren, what do you do?
You could have helped me.
Where the hell have you been? I'm almost finished my first pint.
One of these days I'll get good at this.
Another
She
stranger.
didn't even order me a drink.
The barkeep kind of looks at you and says, "Another stranger wanders into my inn. What can I help you with?"
Ale.
I can do that. That is 4 copper for each mug of ale.
What did he give you for that ale?
Who are you talking to? To the barkeep?
My thumb's pointing back.
He gave me 3 copper.
I'll give you 6.
All right.
If you don't, if you give me his next ale, I'll give you 6.
You want his next ale?
You heard me.
Okay. So he goes and he takes 2 mugs down off of the shelf. He wanders over to this amazing copper like banded cask that looks like it has never been touched. Pristine. The tap is silver and shiny, and he pours 1 mug of ale that just comes up to this perfect froth at the top, sets it on the bar. Then he wanders to the ugliest, crappiest cask you've ever seen and pours another ale from this cask and sets it there. And there isn't even froth on the top, no bubbles. No, it's just it looks like apple juice basically.
Piss.
Piss. It looks
That's what
like
he's
piss.
drinking? That's what he's drinking right now?
That's what 3 copper got him.
and Bren just gives him 6 and just leaves the other one. I don't want that. He doesn't want that.
Okay. He just leaves it. He kind of tucks it off to the slides it off to the side and just leaves it there. Doesn't not pour it out or anything. At about this time, let's see. At about this time, yet another person manages to just stumbles in the door, kind of maybe tripping a little bit over the edge of the door frame as he opens the door. Bren, you being still near the bar would probably turn and see a red tiefling make his way into the bar, just kind of looking around at everybody. Ozzy, go ahead and make a quick perception check.
Alrighty.
15. All right. So as you wander in and scan the area, you look off to your left and kind of tucked in the back corner, you see an armored figure sitting drinking ale, and his shield sitting on the kind of resting against the chair next to him is the symbol you've been looking for. This is the Warrior of Justice.
Alrighty.
You're certain of it.
Alright. Ozzy, he steps over the threshold, kind of shaking, swaying in his boots. Kind of glances over, sees him, and just exclaims, "Ah! There he is." And just starts stumbling towards the man in the armor with the shield.
Talking.
Aaron, you broke up. Sorry, buddy.
Said you talking to me?
Yes, I have been looking for you.
Well, you found me.
I was sent to aid you.
I don't need it.
I am here nonetheless.
I didn't ask for that.
He kind of turns around, exposing his blood all over the back of his shirt, and kind of glances around the room. Is there anyone else here with your abilities?
At this point,
think you
Bren, heading toward the table, will have intercepted this conversation.
I think
He,
I'd be more
he
worried
almost
about
looks
the...
drunk, but he's not. Like, he just looks like he's messed up.
You're leaking, friend.
Oh, I was. Yeah. But I'm not bleeding anymore. All I remember is something sharp in my back. And I woke up outside of town.
That sounds like a you problem, friend.
I was told to come see you.
Well, take a good look.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I need to help people. That's my just not bloody creatures who wake up with sharp things in their back.
Creatures.
That seems pretty rude.
Creatures. I am no creature.
What are you?
I am a tiefling.
I'm
I
sorry.
was sent here for mistakes in my past. But I am better now, and I am going to change it.
You don't seem better.
Well, I am not sure what exactly happened. All I remember was running down an alley towards a screaming woman who was being assaulted by two very large men. I tried to help, and then I just remembered sharp pain in my back, and then I passed out.
What, Helm, you're not going to help our friend here? Isn't this your whole goal? What is your name, by the way? I'm Brain.
My name, nice to meet you, Bren. My name is Ozias. I was given the name Freedom, but I go by Ozzy.
Yeah, no one would believe freedom.
Well, Ozzy. Bren brings up a good point. This is my purpose, and if you need help, we need something to do. So I think we're more than willing to help you.
And I have always trying to look out and help other people when I can. Doesn't always end up the best for me, obviously.
Well, when you approach two large men with your back, it doesn't work.
Well, I didn't approach them with my back. I was running towards them. I was about to roast one of them, and I just remember sharp pain in back, and then I woke up outside of town.
Well, somehow you
Where
turned around.
we are in Hawks Hollow, correct? Right now.
That is correct.
Okay, good. Thought I was talking. I just wanted to make sure I was told in Hawks Hollow. I was in Sarth. Now I'm here.
Sarth. What were you doing in Sarth?
Helping where I can. And trying to save woman. Bad idea, obviously.
Maybe next time you have backup.
Yes, I am not a fighting man.
Not close, it seems.
Do you mind if I join you? And have a drink?
You must have a drink to sit at our table.
Okay.
Isn't your back like bad?
From what I could, I felt it. It didn't feel like I had injury. I mean, if you want to look, you're more than welcome. Ozzy just turns around and offers his back towards his complete strangers he's just met.
It's awful brave of you.
Helm pokes it.
Oh,
Yeah, at this moment you see the halfling woman kind of wander up to the conversation and stand off to the side listening and say this as you guys are looking at his back, at the tiefling's back.
Not the smartest thing to do to approach men with your back.
We just went over that. I didn't approach those men in alley with Beck. I walked towards them.
Who said anything about men in an alley?
These are good people. I can tell.
Little person, poke his back. It's very squishy.
It's not squishy.
It feels squishy.
I felt little hole, like little divot, no the scar. I think I was stabbed. I'm not sure.
You're a very soft man.
They typically have a rule about us touching the customers. I think I'll pass.
Well, okay.
But I'm sure this bears a very interesting story. Did I hear you say you were looking for them?
Yes.
Why?
Well, this gentleman with the shield here.
Apparently, I'm very important.
Did you not know that already?
Nope.
Well, we're all very important in one way or another. At this point, she sits down and joins y'all at the table.
Barkeep, round of drinks. Everyone here.
What is your name, friend? I did not catch.
Ozzius. Call me Ozzy.
At this point, the barkeep says, "All right, that'll be 16 copper." And then
Gold
he
piece.
pulls.
Gold piece for you.
Okay, so he kind of looks at it in astonishment. A gold piece for 4 ales?
Just keep them coming. Let me know when it runs out.
Very well. All right, do you wander back, or are you waiting to grab them?
I'll wait.
Okay. He grabs 4 new mugs of ale, or 4 new ales, and he pours all 4 of them from just the average-looking casks, kind of run down the middle, not the end cap, bad or good one, and or the good-looking one and bad-looking one. And he fills all 4 up. They all froth. They look good.
As he's filling up the 4, the dog barks 5 times.
He nods and he slides over the ale that is tucked in the corner. And he gestures to them for Ozzy to take back.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Ozzy,
welcome.
Ozzy carefully takes the ales over to the table.
Easily enough. They all have nice handles. Good way to grip a bunch of them.
He's still kind of stiff, but he manages to get it over there.
All right. So at this point, everybody has an ale courtesy of Ozzy.
Thank you.
Starting to like you more.
Ha!
I can't drink very much. I'll have to get back to work soon.
Leave it to a holy man to drink the most out of everyone here.
The not so holy man, I think you meant.
Well, you know what I mean.
All right. At this point, while you guys are conversing and before, character name's so bad. Bree. Before Bree wanders off, the man that you noticed sitting kind of by himself near the fireplace when you first walked in, he gets up and wanders over. He goes, "You look like a capable bunch," gesturing to the party. "How about you help an old man out? I think I found the key. I think I can get off of this God's forsaken rock." And at that moment, Neld, he's speaking pretty loudly, Neld goes, "Now, Brandon, don't go scaring off my customers, or I'll have to kick you out, or kick you off of this rock without a boat to sail on, and let the gods eat you up." Brandon kind of looks at him, scowls, and said, "But it's true. The Terrans knew how to do it. They have the secret. I just need help getting to it."
The Terrans? Who's that?
"Oh, that old family that lived out to the west. You believe me, right? I'm not And at that moment you hear this loud scream. All of you hear this really loud scream, a few people screaming from outside. And the door's closed, but you still hear a number of them. And he kind of looks at the door. He says, "I'm not crazy. Come find me." And then he runs out the door before you guys can say anything else to him.
Novi.
Navi chases after him.
Okay. So you make a perception check as you run out the door. Oh crap, that's going to be on roll 20. Are you doing it in dice roll or roll 20?
Roll 20. Can I catch his scent? If I'm using smell, I have advantage as a dog. So.
You can roll with advantage, yeah.
Oh my god.
You walk out the door, and those you kind of sniff at the ground, and the only thing you smell is Ozzy having scuffed his foot along the door frame. That catches most of your attention as the stranger manages to slip away. Let's see. Yeah, as the door opens, as the man leaves, and the dog kind of tries to chase after him, the screams get louder as they echo back in the door. So, the barkeep, Nell, just ends up kind of looking out the door as it opens, and Navi, what is going on out there? And at this point, you guys can do something if you would like to.
Ozzy immediately stands up with a firebolt kind of flaring up in his hand, looking at the door.
Maybe not the best action to take inside a building. At that, Bree kind of makes her way towards the door, kind of slipping through people.
Okay.
It's fine. It won't do anything. It's okay. I know how to do this.
As you head towards the door, it kind of clicks shut as the movement of the dog and the stranger having gone past it. It kind of just slides back closed.
Bren, what do you make of that?
What the hell am I supposed to make of that?
I don't know.
At this
We
point,
should see what's going on.
Bree
Let's
makes
go.
it to the door at this point. Do you open the door?
Yes, Bree's gonna open the door and peek a little bit. She's not
Okay.
gonna full blown open it.
Make a perception check. And Navi, do you go back in?
No, I'm just staying out there seeing if I can.
Okay. Make another perception check as you're looking around instead.
Trying to get my. For some reason, Roll 20 doesn't want to recognize my macros.
Ooh.
Mm,
All right.
damn.
As you peek out the door, you kind of see people running back and forth, and a lot of people kind of clustered across the street. Navi, is that your? Oh, wait, who's rolling? Oh, is that your 12, Chelsea?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
am I still
Gosh,
rolling with
I didn't
advantage?
realize.
It's not a smell based. You're just looking around now.
Oh, okay.
That you're not tracking anybody.
I could
Okay.
listen.
And that 23 is.
I mean, which I didn't realize that it was actually taking my macro. So whichever one you
All right,
want
that's
to
the one you rolled
declare.
first. That's fine.
Okay.
You look out the door, and even Navi, even in your dog form, having poorer than normal eyesight, you still see all of the people over there. Bree, you notice that there is a bunch of people gathered around a prone figure, and next to that prone figure is a hooded figure. You can't quite make the features out. He's just kind of standing over him, kind of crouched, leaning down, looking at him. At the prone figure, and there's a bunch of people crowded around. You see this from inside the inn, and Navi, you are just standing outside the door still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobby, I think someone needs help. You with me?
Navi nods and barks.
Okay, so I'm gonna slip out and kind of discuss a little bit of strategy with her
Okay.
about maybe her getting the person in the robe away from the person on the ground, and then me heading for the person on the ground.
Okay. Ozzy, do you follow them out, or are you gonna stay in there with Brendan Helm?
I'm going to. I'm going to take cover, like half cover behind the bar, watching the door, and
Okay.
just kind of stay a little bit further back and see what Bren and Helm are going to do before I make a decision on if I'm going to move or not.
Okay. All right, so you and Bree and Navi, you are having your conversation, and as you can have your conversation, more and more people start running up to the circle, looking and then kind of darting off, and some more people run up and kind of look in, see what's going on. You hear shouts. You can't quite make out what's being said, but people are obviously shocked. They're surprised. They're not really sure what's going on. Brandon Helm, do you do anything at this point, or are you just sitting drinking?
What's happening over there?
I don't know, but it seems like this is what we came here for. I should probably go check it out.
Seems like it.
Should I wait for you to get dressed?
Let's go.
Okay.
Ozzy follows behind them, probably about 15, 20 feet behind them.
Okay. So you all head out the door?
If you don't, he says it pretty loudly. If you don't mind, I'm just going to stay behind you and see what I can do to help from me back here. I've learned my lesson about trying to get in close quarters fight.
Yes, behind us is probably the best.
All right. So at this point, you both kind of open the door and look outside, and as you open the door, Bree and Navi, the dog, the halfling woman and the dog, are still standing right kind of near the doorway, and Bree is just hurriedly talking to the dog.
As she finishes speaking, Navi will immediately run off and try and grab the cloaked guy's cloak and just try and bite onto it and try and pull him away from the dude on the ground a little bit.
Okay, so the dude on the ground you're going up to the guy standing over him, the hooded figure.
And as she does that, I slip through the crowd using my halfling nimbleness and go to inspect the man on the ground.
All right. Kothar, as you are standing over this guy who you watched tumble out of the tower above as you were wandering in the city, you're looking down at him, and you just hear this thump, 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 as this dog just charges up and attaches herself to your cloak.
This would be our first interaction.
What do you do?
Kothar.
This is awesome!
Kothar is going to very slowly turn its head towards this animal and pretty much glare down at it.
So Navi, as you're running toward this hooded figure, you see the head just turn and look towards you as you're still charging toward him. And you see this oddly snake / alligator type snout kind of poking out from under the hood. You still attack?
I wasn't going to try and hurt him. I was just going to try and
Okay.
drag him away from the body.
So do you still want to attempt to grapple?
Yeah, I'm going to do whatever Bree tells me to do.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Somebody help me here. Grappling is contesting strength checks, yeah? Or athletics?
Yes.
Or athletics, whatever's better.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead
Well,
and
I'm a dog.
both of you roll strength or athletic checks.
Oh my god.
17 plus 3. Navi 2. So
Oh my god.
as this dog charges towards you, Kothar, you just kind of put your hand out and just snout stuff her into the ground. She doesn't even latch on. You just bop the nose, and Bree, as you reach out with your snout to grab onto this cloak, this scaly hand that just kind of smells sour, not bad, just kind of, it smells like a reptile, as you know what they smell like from many encounters. It just stuffs its hand into your nose, and you are forced into the sitting position right at his feet.
Heal.
At this point, Bree, you have made it to the prone figure. It is, from a quick scan, you see it is a man, human man. He is face down. Kind of has this really. It looks like it would have been fancy at some point. This big feathered cloak. And but it's in tatters and stained. Feathers are sticking to each other. It looks like it's in like it hasn't been washed or tended to in a long time. This man is face down, eyes closed, his head's kind of pointed to the side towards you, and his blood is running out of his nose and one of his ears, and he's still grasping on to this cane. It is kind of a black rod. It's about 4 feet long, black rod, and there is a golden, or it looks like gold, topper on it that looks like a crow's head. But this man, and just to inform the location, these people are gathered kind of in a half circle around a building, and above them is about a 4-story, about 40, 50 feet tall, like bell tower. And this man is at the bottom of the bell tower, having apparently fallen or jumped from this bell tower. Yeah, so that's what you see as you approach this body, this prone figure.
I'm going to check him for vitals.
Okay,
Vital
roll a
signs.
medicine check.
Are me, Brendan, Helm outside yet?
Yeah, you guys would have seen the dog run off and the halfling run into the crowd at this point.
Okay. While she's doing that, is it okay if I bless Caleb and Bren?
Sure.
I mean, not Caleb. Brandon Helm.
Brandon Helm. You're gonna do it to both of them?
Yes. Can I see the halfling at all?
By the time you reach the door, having trailed behind them, no, I'd say she's disappeared into the crowd at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use one of my first level slots and bless.
You bless
Brandon
multiple
Helm.
targets with that?
Yeah,
Or is it
up
one
to
each?
3 targets.
Okay.
3 targets.
You let them know what that does for them.
All right, so you get a D4. I guess put it in your inspiration box. D4 to add to attack or saving throw. 1 minute, 30-foot range. So, yep, y'all both have a D4 to use when you need it.
Nice.
I
Isn't
think
that
it's
just
time
they
to
can
get
keep
this-
doing that?
Mm.
Like for any check they make?
What was that?
Isn't it just they can keep doing that for like any check they make?
Yeah,
that
whenever
includes-
for up to 1 minute, whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, they can roll a d4 and add the number. So for 1 minute.
Mhm.
For the next minute, they can
Yeah.
just roll anything they do. They can roll an additional d4. It's not a one and done thing.
That's pretty good.
I also bless myself, I guess, since I can only
That
do
works.
that.
Yep, you do have 3
Okay.
targets. Okay. So yeah, as Helm and Bryn, as you kind of step forward, you just feel this almost relaxing, calm, like obviously not. It's from an outside source, kind of wash over you. It's nothing alarming. You feel a little more awake and ready at this point. Yeah. So
Was that you?
Oh, go ahead.
That was me.
I feel good.
I feel like I should probably get my sword and shield now.
Yes, good idea.
Easily enough,
This
you
is-
go over to your horses and pick up your sword and shield.
This is a gift from Bahamut. So I pass it to you.
Hopefully I don't have to use that.
So I can tell that he died from falling, right? I just can't tell.
It's
Like-
evident from his position, but you don't know for sure. Like the only way he would have ended up in this prone position is if somebody knocked him over right there, or he had fallen.
So, but I obviously clearly realized that the cloaked figure did not kill him because the cloaked figure is here on the ground.
The cloaked figure is standing looking down, like he's standing up near him
okay.
looking down at him, or was. At this point he is turned, and you see, by the time you see Navi, you see this cloaked figure's hand out kind of near Navi, not quite touching her anymore, and Navi has been kind of is kind of in a sitting position, looking up. Do you move at this
I'm
point, Navi?
growling.
Okay, yeah, so she's looking up, growling at this hand that's
Little
kind of
train
stressed
on
out
him.
at her.
I'm growling right back.
Okay.
I subtly shift my shoulders and reach in my sleeves and pull out daggers.
All right. By the time this has happened, so you two are standing off, just growling at each other. Bree has pulled
I
out
guess
some
hissing
daggers.
would be a more accurate term.
Okay. Bren and Helm. I'll get it eventually. You guys have made it to the crowd and are sort of starting to part them. And Helm, you still have your armor on, so to these people, you may be an authority figure of some sort, so they kind of part the way for you as you make your way up. There's not a whole lot of people. It's probably like 2 or 3 layers of people before you make it through, so it's just a couple steps. And the thing that is presented to you here as the last few people part is you see the halfling woman from the bar stand kind of kneeling down next to this prone figure, and you see this cloaked figure, his hands still protruding, now hearing these kind of matching dissonant growls as this creature is growling at the dog and the dog is growling at the creature.
What? Ozzy immediately runs to the man that's prone, and tries to see if he can help him anyway.
Okay. Are you checking him?
Yeah,
See-
I'm seeing if he's alive. If not, if
Okay,
he
make a
is,
medicine check then.
Okay.
Hope it's better than mine.
Why are you growling at the dog?
Why is the dog growling at me? Good question.
Dogs normally growl.
Their own damn fault.
There we go. 17.
17.
Leia.
It is apparent to you this man is dead. There is no pulse. He is still warm to the touch though. He is obviously very newly dead, and you see the blood from the nose and the ear, and as you roll him to check him, you also see that the one arm on one side, the opposite side of the cane that he landed on, is broken and bent back in an awkward kind of angle. You know that was definitely broken. And the side of his head, there's a large indent in the side of his head, apparently where he probably, from the medicine check there, you know that's probably where he landed first.
Okay. Ozzius, if his eyes are open, he closes his eyes with his fingers.
Okay, yeah. Ozzy reaches down and gently just lowers the eyelids of this man. At this point, so there's been questions asked, why is the growling going on? So, yeah, just could you continue your conversation?
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
So you just decide to growl at every dog you see?
The dog should not attack.
Dog was just following orders.
You should choose better orders to follow.
It's a dog.
Your point?
They don't choose orders. They're not that smart.
I
This
wouldn't
one
be so
seems
sure
pretty
about
smart.
that.
The dog starts to growl at Helm.
Helm, you see this dog head whip towards you and just low, rippling growl looking right at you. As you
Seems
say,
pretty smart
it's
to me.
not just a dog. Or dogs don't, not very smart.
Well, it's a dog. So it can only be so smart.
Once
If
again,
there's
wouldn't be so sure
something
about that.
special about this dog that I don't know about, then fine. But as of right now, it's a dog, and dogs are
Did you come
dogs.
to lecture me about your dog?
No, I came to lecture you about growling at dog. Pointless. Especially when there's a man dead.
He's dead. What's the point?
Well, now we're back at growling at dogs. Why are you
Goodness,
doing
can we
that?
cut through this at the moment? Why is there a man dead here, and why are you standing over him?
Well,
Because he fell off the tower and I was right here.
You had nothing to do with him falling off the tower.
I have no qualms with this man.
Doesn't quite answer my question.
Kothar, make a retroactive perception check. Okay, yeah, so thinking back on the moment you kind of walked near this, you do remember hearing this man just yell out, "No, no!" And then you look up to that yell as he is falling.
As far as I know, he fell on his own.
Helm is going to search the man's person for any information.
Now I'm going to insight check what the giant gator just said.
Okay. You're insight checking for just whether he was telling the truth or not? About knowing the man fell? Okay.
At this point, Navi is sitting down next to the strange lizard man and basically glaring and continuing to growl quietly at Helm.
Goodness, I'm rolling like crap tonight.
As far as you can tell, he is telling the truth. He saw the man fall. He was not involved. At this, you're making make an investigation check to search through his person.
Okay. Add a 1 to that. Let's
So
do.
2. Roll 20 does not like you guys tonight.
No.
Feel free for anybody who has real dice, if you wish to roll, I'll take your word for it.
Ooh, so trusting.
Let's see. All right. So you kind of roll this man over, and he has, as described before, he has this very heavy, what looks to be formerly ornate cloak. And you kind of just pat along this cloak, and you find no apparent pockets or spots where anything would be kept, hidden, or otherwise. This man is he's dressed kind of raggedy. When you roll him over, he has what looks like just a regular shirt and pants with very worn shoes. The shirt and pants are very threadbare. In certain spots you can kind of see his skin underneath. But this coat seems to be his main garment, this feathered coat, which covered most of this at the time he was first rolled over. It was unbuttoned for the medicine check that Ozzy made. But you don't find anything of note on his person. He has the cane. It's not quite clutched in his hand anymore, as his hand is kind of released in the fading life breath. His hand kind of opened, but the cane is still resting in his open palm. This cane of black wood has a metal dowel at the bottom and a golden, apparently golden, crow's head on top.
Ozzy, you seem like you could use a cane.
Cane?
A cane, yes.
No, I am perfectly fine.
You don't want this?
Mm, I don't feel right about taking this man's possessions. Maybe family need it.
Well, that's fair. He certainly doesn't need it anymore.
Ozzy stands up and looks up at the building from where he apparently fell from.
All right. It's a bell tower you see at the top. You don't see any entrance at the base. This is think of like a long set of buildings. They're kind of butted next to each other. You see the base of the structure, but there are two buildings up against it, and no apparent way to get to the top from this location. The bell is up there. It's not ringing or moving. Nobody up there that you can see from the ground.
We should probably try to get to the top of that tower to find if there's any signs of someone or a struggle.
As you say this, you hear this loud shout, move on, disperse. And you see one man in a chainmail vest. He has his hand on his sword on his hip, has a metal helm on, and the tabard of the city that you saw as you entered the city hanging over the walls. This is apparently a city guard.
Hello.
I slip my daggers back up my sleeves real quick and say to Novi, Finn might like that stick. He might be interested in it.
Navi will grab it if she can.
You can pick it up. Before you move on with it, the guard points to all of you that are kind of standing around this prone figure. You all, stay where you're at. What happened here?
This man apparently fell from tower.
He fell.
Yes, I studied his wounds and appears blunt damage to his head from fall.
The guard turns around, and you didn't notice before, but another guard has kind of been running up from behind him about 100 feet back. And as the guard makes it up, it's a woman. Her hair is not visible from under her helm. She runs up also with her hand in similar garb, chainmail, the tabard and all that, with her hand also on her sword. And as she runs up, this guard points to her and says, Marissa, check him. And she goes over to the body where you're at, and he says, they said that he fell. Confirm that for me. As she kneels down, she sees his face. She says, it's Carmen. This is number 4. We believe you. And this guard kind of takes his hand off his sword and nods slowly. And she says, he fell too. Yeah, and the guard says, who saw this? Anybody?
We heard screaming and came outside of tavern to find body in street.
At this point, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. At this point, I kind of discreetly wave my hand at Novi to tell her to keep on scooting with the stick, further away from the body. And I go up to the guard, the first one that approached, and kind of change the way I talk a little bit.
Okay. Navi, make a stealth check to see if you can slip away with the stick into the crowd. Where did you? You can come check it if you want. The guard rolled a natural 19 on his perception check. He says, "You stop your dog."
At
Points.
this
The dog's
point,
just running.
at this point, Bree becomes
just a dog.
Bree becomes a little hysterical. So, what do you mean there's been more than one of these? Is there something we need to worry about? She kind of approaches him very quickly and hands wrung together, like kind of pleading for information from him. Is this something we need to worry about? Are we in danger?
Are you trying to distract him?
Yes, I am actually like trying
Performance
to.
check.
It's performance or deception? Like
Mm,
which one? Because I mean, either or. It's your call.
You're not
dude.
really trying to deceive him. You're trying to create a convincing distraction. I would say this performance.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Chelsea, you can check it if you want.
I will.
She's like,
Just we'll
don't
establish
you
this trust.
worry. Well, I mean, if you can't trust the GM, who can you trust?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could just make numbers up and make the results whatever I want.
Performance.
So.
Ah, crap! I haven't made a performance macro yet. Bear with me.
You're good.
The dog's just running though.
Okay. The dog's only been running for a round.
Gosh, what is okay?
All right. He doesn't seem convinced or distracted by your attempt to distract him. He says, "Is this your dog? You need to get it right now." He's running away with evidence.
There's a dog. What dog?
Whose dog is this? As he kind of looks up and asks, "Whose
Ozzy,
dog is that?"
Ozzy sees all this happening. Can I cast Thaumaturgy?
You can do whatever you want. What are you trying to do?
Tremors. I'm gonna make tremors in the area for 1 minute.
Oh man. Does this make a sound? Like, do you have to say or do something?
I think it just kind of happens. I'm not sure. I've never used Thaumaturgy before. I'm sorry.
I haven't either. This is good information for me as well. So yeah, he's distracted by this. The dog has made at least
but they're
another
they're
30 feet.
noticeable.
So 60
Dog
feet
speed is
total.
40.
40? Okay, so you've made 80 feet. Are you running down the road or are you heading back to the inn?
I'm going to the inn.
Okay, the inn is not far from this at all. So you just made a beeline for the inn?
Maybe I'll go like in kind of a circle around the block before going to the inn.
Okay. So let's say you've made
And
it
they
to the
said
first
she
corner.
wasn't smart.
At this point, you've made it to kind of the first corner, the turn that would head to another street.
Yeah.
Okay. Thaumaturgy, did you...
It's just vocal.
So he has to say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it matter what he says though?
I don't know.
It's like an incantation.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's probably pretty easy to hide though at the moment.
With all the noise.
Yeah.
Nobody's chasing you at this point. There's only 2 guards.
And with Bree kind of being like over the top, it's probably easy to say something underneath her volume.
Yeah, I would say that's probably if you try and whisper, it'd be easy enough to say it. Anyway, so it makes tremors in the area. Are these like just little vibrations, like a small earthquake?
They're harmless.
Okay.
They're harmless. They won't damage anything.
So everybody's standing in the area. You all of a sudden you all start feeling just like vibrations under your feet. Like for Helm and Bren, this would be similar to when the cavalry would ride past as you're standing on the ground outside, having the entirety of the, like for Helm or Bren, the dragoons, when you were dismounted and having them drill and ride by. This is very similar to that thumping in the ground, this vibrations. Yeah, so this happens for a minute.
Or just long enough for the dog to. I'm trying to cause a
Control it.
distraction.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So this guard just kind of looks down, like startled as he's looking around, seeing what's causing. He's familiar with this experience as well, being in the military, and he's looking around for the source of it, as if it was like a pack of horses. He's confused, and he's obviously distracted from trying to chase the dog at this point. Looking around, looking down, looking back up.
Bree's gonna shriek in surprise too.
Okay. He kind of jumps as the shriek happens within arm's reach of him and looks at you.
What's
don't worry.
happening?
Don't worry. We'll make sure nothing happens. And he kind of looks at the guard he called Marissa earlier and says, "Marissa, go find out if the cavalry are drilling." And
this
she
point,
just stands
Bree
up and
points up at the
salutes and
bell.
heads off.
Bree points up at the bell. Is it falling?
He looks up and just shocked, like, what? And it's obvious the bell isn't moving at all. And he looks down at you and scowls, like, what do you mean? Oh, it's obviously not falling.
So sorry. I'm just so scared.
Did anybody witness this man fall? Was this what happened? He's looking around at all
Is
of you.
this normal for this area? Because what the hell is happening right now?
This is not normal, says the guard says. This is a very strange day.
I'm sorry. I just can't. And Bree, like, goes to walk back towards the end.
Wait, I just need some answers. None of you are in trouble. If you say he fell, I just need to know if anybody saw it.
I did not.
He was already on the ground when I got outside.
Same.
And she just kind of keeps walking.
Okay. Yeah.
Flips back
He's
inside.
not really. He's one guy trying to keep everybody here. He just kind of looks to each of you. He's pointing to each of you. He points to Helm. Did you see anything?
Hell.
No.
Helm is
I-
asleep. No.
I didn't see anything. All I saw was you mistaking an earthquake for your cavalry drilling. That's all Helm saw.
You say an earthquake?
That's what
And
it felt
it
like
kinda-
to me.
It seems to kind of come over. You see the eureka moment, like, oh, come over his face. And this time, is it still shaking or is it done?
It subsides after a few seconds.
Okay,
It's like a quick little tremor.
gotcha.
Like those dirty worms are gonna.
He
go under.
turns to, he kind of
Baby.
acknowledged that what Bren had said, and that Helm and you hadn't seen anything. He turns to Kothar, kind of squinting to see if he can see what's under the hood. You, sir, you haven't said anything. Did you see what happened?
Sure.
Sure. Did he fall?
That would be the case.
And you witnessed this firsthand?
The falling part.
Did you see anything else?
A dog.
I saw the dog too. Okay. All right. Well, this has happened just recently. I think I have a theory. I need to make sure that I can appropriate your help. Would you be willing to help me try and solve this mystery? We've had a string of these apparent suicides and no real clear way to tell. We've never had any witnesses say they saw anybody do it, but none of them seem to be suicidal people. Carmen was a grumpy old man, but he wasn't suicidal.
Did he have any family left?
No, his family is long gone. He is one of our local homeless. He wanders, he begs change off of travelers mostly. Sometimes the locals will give him food. He makes his way, he's harmless. The children make a game of running up to him and trying to poke him without getting hit by his cane as he kind of motions in the general direction of the dog. And he He wasn't happy, but he was not the kind of man to jump. I knew him personally for a long time. We had some run-ins with him, but go ahead, sorry.
No, you may continue. I am sorry. I am just thinking aloud.
Like I said, this is not the first person to apparently commit suicide. My boss says not to worry about it, that they're suicides, and just to bury them out in the graveyard.
Did any of these people have any enemies?
Besides the children he managed to smack with his stick, I would say no.
I'm sorry, but if this is the 4th suicide, it's starting to sound like maybe it's not suicide.
That is my
I
thought.
agree.
Yes, yes, I agree as well.
Is it possible that maybe your boss is somehow he's telling you not to investigate?
He is lazy. He just doesn't want me to pay anybody. I don't have time. The guards don't have. We don't have enough people that can just wander around and ask questions. We don't have enough people to patrol the city all the time. It wouldn't. Usually we hire out this kind of work.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask another question?
Ask as many as you like.
These other people, are they connected in any way?
Nothing apparent. This is the first one that I've been to myself. The others, the Marissa there, he kind of motions in the direction that she ran off behind him. She was present for the cleanup on a couple of the others. She would be able to relate. I'm sorry, this isn't the first. This is my second. The first was the first victim. This is this 4th victim and my second.
How often is this happening?
The first one was only 5 days ago.
Oh goodness.
4
That is
suicides in
certainly
5
not-
days.
That is certainly not normal, I would say.
No, and it's starting to worry me.
How many people live in Hawks Hollow?
Oh my. Probably. He kind of rubs the back of his neck, thinking. I would say maybe 4,000 or 5,000. I mean, you know, from being out, anybody who's entering the city from outside, which I believe is all of you at this point, have entered from the outside. It's not a small town. It has walls. It is sizable, probably somewhere in the range of, from the distance you could probably see, it's probably like 3 to 4 miles across, at the broad side from the direction you're coming. Like what you could see that runs east to west, and then it goes from about 4 or 5 miles off the coast, and it runs right up to the coastline. Like part of the city's borders are against the ocean line.
Maybe your captain needs to be persuaded.
I think this being the 4th incident makes this no longer a coincidence. I believe I could convince him to part with some funds in order to pay somebody to look into this. Somebody who has free time. Would any one of you, or maybe all of you, be interested? You look like... He kind of motions you're all standing together.
I can't speak for myself, but I have some free time, and I'd be willing to help if everyone else is.
Okay. You would need to give me a little bit of time. You may meet me, let's say, tomorrow morning. I could probably get the funds ready for you and approved if you want to come over to the keep. And he kind of gestures in a southeasterly direction, sort of near the river area that you can see in the distance. You see not terribly large, not like castle status, but definitely more of a fortified location that rises above the rest of the buildings on the skyline. Big stone structure, and he kind of gestures in that direction. He says, "It is over there. You can't miss it. Ask for Leon. That is me."
Okay, nice to meet you, Leon. My name is Ozius. Call me Ozzy.
I wish we could have met under better circumstances. And he doesn't shake your hand, but he just kind of puts up a hand to his head and sort of his half salute. Can I count on
nods.
just Ozzy's help, or will there be more of you? The more people, the
Well,
more I have to
let's
count
see.
funds.
Let's see. We have me, my brother, a man or a halfling who woke up after getting stabbed.
Halfling.
We
This man is
Kind
no
of cocks his
halfling.
head.
Tiefling.
I twitch my
that's
tail.
the word. Whatever. We have mysterious woman with dog that growls, and then whatever he is. That seems like trouble to me.
You know, if you don't want to work together, that is fine. I do not know your circumstance. You tell me who's coming. I will prepare the funds.
Bren, this would be a good opportunity to help and maybe make a little bit of money.
I don't really need the money.
Well, then helping.
It's going to be a good opportunity for us.
Plus, we
We should-
can
we
learn
should
this town a little
it.
bit. And plus, maybe I can talk to your captain and see about maybe changing the funding a little bit. If that's
Just
okay with you, Leon.
you know what? I will make sure to appropriate enough funds for the lot of you that I found here. You decide amongst yourselves who is able to help. Can I count on at least some of you?
Helm, Bren, are you in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
we've got 2.
Really?
Really
You're
what?
in.
Yeah.
I'll buy you another drink, Bren.
Just so they know, Navi, you made it back fine. Bree, it's only about 40 or 50 feet from the inn. You could probably hear most of this, at least in snatches across the courtyard.
What about you, sir? He looks at Kothar.
Will this help me get off the island?
Nobody leaves Rem, says Leon.
Then I don't see a reason to help.
Okay, fair enough. Would you two like drinks, Leon? We will see you tomorrow.
Very well. He kind of turns away from you guys and runs off kind of in the direction of the keep. He's leaving the body there.
Very sad situation. I think it'd be good to help them. Maybe halflings want to come. I don't know. Do you want to, meantime, go back to tavern and enjoy some drinks, and let's talk about our strategy? I'm talking to Brennan Helm.
Sure.
Google, am I
Yes.
able to get a smell of that area? Blunt trauma is on the body.
Okay. What are you trying to learn?
Just trying to see if I can catch a scent on anything.
Go ahead. What? That would just be
I want to find a scent and try and track it
Okay.
by smell.
So you tell me how that works. Let me find where was it? Document for that. Did you link that to me?
Which one? Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
I know. I'm looking.
Done it like 8 times. Should be in one of the pin messages.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Last
Books and
message.
resources.
No.
Oh, in our thing. Gotcha.
Yes. Heightened senses.
Heightened senses. Third level, you begin to adopt the improved abilities of natural predator. You gain advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or smell. Okay, so you are trying to track, or are you just trying to pick
Track
up a
by
smell?
So pick up a smell and then track. So if there needs to be 2 ability checks, whatever.
Yeah.
on that.
So make a perception check with advantage.
Okay.
19 and 18. All right. So you do pick up a smell. It is hard to describe this smell. It is kind of musky. It is definitely unique. It is not something that you smell immediately in the area. Go ahead and make a survival check to try and track it. 16. You do kind of get the hint of the smell coming from wafting down from that bell tower. There is definitely something to do with that. You probably have to get closer to the bell tower to see if you can continue to see if it goes anywhere else. At this point, if you're tracking by smell and wandering off, does everybody else... Are you going back into the tavern? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Bren and I are.
Okay. So Bren and Helm, Ozzy, you guys make your way back into the tavern. Bree and Navi, you guys are in the in there already. Are you still kind of watching these guys come towards you?
As Ozzy's headed back towards me, I've backed away and pretended to be that I've been busy this whole time cleaning up a table nearby.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yes, I've been at the door trying to catch as much as I possibly could.
All right. Sounds good.
Navi is still just waiting inside the door.
Just waiting at the door. All right. So as you guys wander back into the tavern, you walk past this dog sitting there, just kind of watching you enter.
She will growl at Helm as he walks by.
That's a curious dog.
Yeah, leave the dog behind.
No,
I
kind
don't.
of like
That's
him.
not going to happen.
I kind of like.
You keep saying that.
What? What's wrong with him? He seems. I mean, he's growling, but he just doesn't know us yet.
Navi rolls over onto her back and exposes everything down there.
Ladylike, Novi. Ladylike.
Oh, she. So sorry. Ozzy approaches the dog slowly with an extended hand.
Would you like to see another trick she can do?
Not really.
You sure?
Depends. It depends.
You
If
sure?
that was the first trick,
It's pretty good.
What did you do with the cane, Navi?
Brought it back to Finn.
Okay.
Now that's if she wants to. Navi, do you want to?
Navi just looks at her.
Up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I think it'd be pretty funny to see their faces.
You're talking to the dog, not giving commands. You're just talking to the dog.
Who gives commands to their friends? Strange friendships you have.
Navi drops one.
Not all of us are friends with dogs.
So as you guys are standing there chatting, you see this dog, kind of the outline of this dog wavers and almost looks like you're seeing a shape through like a lens of water that's moving and rippling, and then a woman appears. A large gray-skinned woman appears in front of you with got like well, they almost look like tattoos, but they aren't of anything apparent. Just kind of on her skin.
How large?
Large. She is 7'9" tall. She is very tall.
Gentlemen, I don't think we had a chance to introduce ourselves. My name's Bree. This is Novi.
Holy shite!
Hello.
How
big-
did you
big-
fit that person inside of that dog?
That's pretty impressive.
Hello,
I do
big
not
woman.
understand it.
At this
Practice.
at the height she's at, her head is only about 3 or 4 inches from the ceiling in the tavern.
That
If
was a
this
fail.
is supposed to inspire me with confidence, it's kind of doing the opposite.
What else don't we know? I really like to find out. That's very curious.
You expect a lady to reveal all her secrets on the first meeting?
Yes.
No.
In this
Well-
particular meeting, yes, I do.
Since did you hear any of that conversation with the guard?
Heard quite a bit of it, but seeing as how that's what's happening right now, and we've solved the mystery of the dog, do you think we can move on to the mystery of the dead man in the street?
Oh, so you're interested in training us, yes?
I'm interested in what's killing things.
Hmm. What do you think, guys? Should we let the halfling and the very large lady who can turn into dog help?
Now, at this second, the bartender, Neld, ends up kind of yelling out, "Bree, did you find out what happened outside?"
Someone fell off the bell tower, it seems.
Are they okay?
Don't think they're going to make it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Why don't you get back to work? We've got customers who need food.
Yes, Neld.
Ah, Navi, back to your normal self. Maybe you can help me bring in these kegs from out back.
Of course.
And kind of walks out the back entrance through the kitchen that you know where he's going.
There's a
I
wolf.
fought in wars. I've been all over. What the fuck is going on in this town?
Yeah, so the sight of a tiefling, just to inform the situation, is pretty rare, not uncommon. And Bryn and Helm, you may have seen them at some point in your travels. This creature is nothing you've ever seen or heard of.
Can I roll a nature check to see if I even know what she is?
You might have seen what she is. You know of tall, gray-skinned tribes of people from the continent you came from.
Okay.
You would know that they are Goliath.
So, my friend, she is called Goliath. Very large, basically human, but very big. What do I know about them?
Not much. You just know they're
Okay.
tall. You just know of the gray-skinned giants of the
North.
of legend. Sure. Yeah, I haven't established that far. Sorry.
All right. No, that's fine. They're very secluded from society. It's strange to see one here, though. Of course, I've only been here a very short time, probably compared to the rest of you.
But why is she so tall?
It's nature of their race.
Why?
My curiosity is how can she turn into a dog? Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Why? I just stuttered there. Why? How can she turn into dog?
I think the better question here is How can she fit into a dog at all?
I think
It's
I've
so
had
good.
too much a-hole, to be honest with you.
I think we need more.
At this point.
Helm,
need
at this
more.
point, you might be questioning what was slipped into the ale you got from the bad tap.
Do you gentlemen want another round? Bree, when you get off shift, join us?
I can't think of anything else I've got going on at the moment.
Bree, you would have seen Bree wander out to another table with a large tray of just the most intricate meal you've ever seen. There's a lot of seafood delicacies mixed in with just decorations. Think of a gourmet restaurant, and you've got this. You have no idea what it is, but it looks amazing. And for an inn that looks average at best, it's really exquisite.
I hand the patrons the plates with obvious pride and tell them to enjoy. Make my way back around doing my thing. My thing, that's very specific.
Yeah, you mostly help keep the place clean and tidy, keep the chairs in the right spots, and keep the patrons happy.
I walk over to their table. Anything you gentlemen want to eat?
That looked delightful. What you just carried over there.
Would you like me to tell Finn you'd like the same thing?
Gentlemen, are you down?
Yeah, I'll take one.
I'll take care of that. Don't worry. I drop a gold piece on the table.
He'll be delighted to have new fans of his food. She walks back to the kitchen, calls out another order to Finn.
I don't know why we're supposed to trust any of you to go investigating a murder.
Well, I think you two are good people. I'm pretty sure Halfling is too. I'm not too sure yet.
Yes, but what are you? What are any of you? So far, we've gotten here. You got stabbed in the back.
Well,
Someone died. There's a lizard person outside. And this lady just turned from a dog into a tree.
well,
So,
Caleb. Well, Bren, if you don't mind, I can explain a little bit of why I'm here, if you wanted to hear.
that would be reassuring.
Okay, so I made some mistakes in my past. I worked for some people I shouldn't have, and long story short, some people died, and it was a mistake, and I was sent here as punishment.
Here meaning Hawks Hollow?
No, the island.
You're an outsider.
Yes, I was banished here.
Those who are native to this continent, so that would be Helm, Bren, and Bree. You have heard like legends, and Finn, he would have too if he heard any of those conversations. You have heard of sorry, one sec. I'll get to you in a sec, Silas. You guys would have heard legends of strangers that, like, I don't want to say like the legends of strangers that appeared because nobody saw them show up, but like strange creatures that talked about another place and being from outside of Rem. You've heard of some legends of this. It's kind of like Bigfoot. It's people believe it, or some people believe it happens. Other people think it's just like whatever. You're just making things up. You're crazy. You had too much to drink.
I believe it was Bahamut who sent me here. I don't know for sure, but from what voice in my head and from what I've been told, It's most likely him.
Wait, where are you from? What part of Rim?
I am not from Rem. I grew up in northern part of world. And I don't remember the name of place.
It would have
It's
been
a while.
Triaga.
Triaga.
You would
Okay.
remember that. That's the continent.
Sorry.
You're good.
Triaga was the name of my home, and after a mistake was made, I was sent here. It's been about a year. Maybe a little more than that. I'm not completely sure. All I know is I woke up here with nothing, and I was in the middle of nowhere. I had to hunt and survive for my food. And I eventually made it into a town and started helping where I could. Odd jobs and whatnot.
None of that makes any sense to me, by the way.
What does not make sense to you?
How were you not from here? I mean,
There's other places outside of Rem. There's other countries and areas that people are from. This place, from my understanding, how do you say, for criminal?
So this is something. Go ahead.
can I ask a question? So is this isn't like, I mean, so this
You're
isn't a
from here.
common thing, right?
No,
I mean, I
this
know
is
I'm
so
from here.
uncommon. It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't really believe it. I don't think.
No.
Only Brim
So
is
it
a
would be
fucking racing.
blasphemy or crazy talk, kind of akin to saying the Earth is flat. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's not. Nobody
Okay, that's what I
believes you
thought.
can leave or come to this island. Like nobody know. You can't leave this island. You can't get
Yeah.
away from it. And also, as far as this place is for criminals, that was more. Like old time backstory for you guys. Nobody
Okay,
in the
right.
present day would know of this place from
Okay.
Triaga. They know that you send ships in a certain direction and they don't come back, and that's about it.
Oh, okay.
So, and
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
I would
just
say
retcon all
being
that.
with no, that's fine. I like I said, 'cause some of it wasn't really prepared for.
No, you're fine. Okay, so basically he was banished here, left to die. That was his punishment.
Are you sure you just haven't forgotten something?
Yeah, Tiefling, stop spewing your bullshit.
I am not lying to you. I'm being completely honest.
You just said you forgot where you were 30 minutes ago.
You fight with your back turned towards your enemy.
I do not. I told you I faced the enemy. I was going to scorch him, and Ozzy like basically brandishes a firebolt in his hand for a brief second and puts it out. That's what I was going to do. I was going to set his ass on fire for trying to hurt the woman.
Sounds to me like you were trying to run away.
No, I do not run from a fight.
Oh, just like you don't magically appear here.
I promise you, I am telling the truth.
Seeing
Right.
him light a fire in his hand again, Bree's gonna make her way over and just, in passing by, tell him if he does it again, she's gonna douse him with a pitcher of piss water.
I am sorry. I assure you, harmless.
Bree,
I-
could I have a glass of water? Feeling mighty parched right now.
I'd be happy to.
All right, as she
Brother,
wanders away. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, as she wanders away, you see a very, very small, like kitten-sized cat wander back from the back room, and you hear from the back Neld yell, "Thank you, Navi!" And this cat just kind of wanders around. And Navi, where do you go?
Back to the table.
Okay, so this cat wanders over and kind of sits. It's so small it doesn't even come up to the top of your boot, Helm. She's just sitting there. It's
As I pass it, Bree bends down and kind of pets the kitten as she walks.
Now giant is cat.
Tiny cat.
very tiny.
And yet, I still don't believe you were magically put here.
Yes, I was going to say, brother. I mean, what? I mean,
Y'all can roll insight checks, but
why would I believe that? I mean, nothing here makes any sense. I know we came here to find, I don't know, adventure, some fight, some exploration, but what? I mean, this is insanity. What are we even doing here?
I guess we are bound to find a crazy person along the way, but
I
didn't
am
expect
not.
so soon.
I am not crazy.
I mean, literally, the first person we meet, other than the bartender, is insane. I mean, come on.
What are you going to do? You going to what did you say, scorch us?
No, not you.
Oh, the magic man who comes from invisible world is going to scorch us. Yes.
Next
No, not you.
little
Not you.
spunk.
Not you. No.
Well,
I bring them his glass of water.
do you go to birthday parties a lot? Do you light the candles and cakes?
I'll just squint at him. What do you mean?
Look,
Well,
the truth is, no one has ever been from anywhere other than here. Now you're talking crazy. There's a giant woman who is, I think, now a cat, and a reptile outside. What? This is not the kind of adventure I was expecting.
Reptiles, very different. I have never seen one. But you can believe me or not that I am telling the truth. I was told to find you, Helm, and I have a feeling that I'm supposed to help you with whatever you need.
help me understand why you think you were magically transported.
Ugh. Okay, so you're holy men, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain why I have powers to heal? I am what you call word magic born arcane, but yet I have powers to heal and bless. Can you
Okay,
explain?
that makes sense. What
Man,
you
that
just said makes sense to me.
makes more sense than you being magically transported here.
Well, um, it's hard to explain. My abilities before
Of course,
was
it's hard to explain. Of course, it is.
well, before I was brought here, I did not have these abilities, and now I do.
Bren, I bet he has an imaginary girlfriend too.
No,
She goes to another school. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
no,
Oh God, I'm dying.
I've known few women, but I am still young yet.
It reminds me of Rudolph, who we remember in primary school. He tried to get someone to go with him to the race, and then no one would. And then his girlfriend went to another school. I mean, come on, it's as easy, it's as simple as that.
And then he brought his sister to the big dance. What a pathetic little man.
Has Navi gathered that Ozzy is not from Rem since she didn't hear the whole conversation?
Sorry, I was waiting for Shadow to answer that. That was weird. I'd say yeah. You've gathered that he's trying to explain he's from somewhere other than Rem.
Navi will drop kitty form again.
Oh, as finish this joke about the girlfriend, the imaginary girlfriend. This little kitten sitting at your boot, all of a sudden becomes a very large sitting figure of a Goliath. She's just kind of sitting there on the floor.
Maybe
Oh
bump
my.
the table a little.
Yeah,
Okay,
kind
you
of thunks the
need
table.
to stop doing that. That would be excellent.
Bree starts
If you could
laughing from the
stop.
other side of the room.
Navi turns to Ozzy. You are not from Rem?
No, I am been trying to explain to these two gentlemen that I am not from here. It's Tiaga, right?
Triaga,
Triaga.
Triaga.
I'm gonna write that down.
Would you?
Where are you from?
Triaga. I have seen your kind in, well, I've heard of your kind before.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is where I am from.
See, Ozzy starts pointing at the Goliath next to him. I told you, I'm telling the truth.
This
He-
must
he
be
nods
your
his head.
imaginary girlfriend.
She's
not imaginary.
Navi casts produce flame.
Oh god.
It's just like a ball of fire as I'm holding in my hand.
Ah,
Okay.
Well, how did
ooh,
What are you rolling
Arcana
for?
check for the win.
Oh.
I know what the spell is. My character knows what the spell is.
Gotcha.
So is that divine or arcane?
Technically, I believe my magic is divine.
Okay. That's very interesting.
I've seen magic before. This isn't surprising.
No, would it be rare for a Goliath to have magical ability?
You don't know. And now,
Okay.
Hellman and Bren, you've got two crazies claiming to be from the same place.
Do you
So-
notice that we are different from everybody else?
Oh, believe me, I've noticed. One of you is a giant and one of you is insane.
and has horns?
And tail.
And
don't
has
forget the tail.
horns.
Don't forget the tail.
The tail, I'm less concerned about.
My appearance, I know. It does not look good. But
I sometimes have a tail.
do you notice two people, same story? We've never met each other before today.
You said one word in common. Is that the same story?
Okay. Navi, would you care to explain Triaga?
What part? I've seen it all.
The part on how you got here.
The part where that's not the real place. Start there.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
we've arrived at the answer. Thank you.
Welcome.
It is a real place. I am from there. My family is from there.
Is
How could two
At this
people
point,
be
you
talking?
might be getting the sense that these two are not going to be convinced by just you telling them.
Does anyone have paper and some ink?
You could go check in the back with Neld and see if he does.
I'll go grab some if I can.
Okay,
Look,
as
look, brother. I mean, do we really want to put our time and trust into these people? I mean, come on. This is not what I had in mind.
no, me neither. Me neither.
I mean, the first bar.
It's very underwhelming to say the least.
Go ahead, Krusty or Ozzy. I think you are not coming through.
No.
Some tech issues. Okay. We'll come back to the conversation, but just to continue what's going on. Oh, he has paper. He would have told you he has paper. Okay. And ink.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Wait,
Um,
why didn't you just turn into paper and ink?
So,
Well-
yeah, Ozzy produces that and offers it
Okay.
to Navi.
All right, I will take that and I will begin to draw just kind of a rough map of the continent of Triaga. As an outlander, I have an
Okay.
excellent memory
Mhm.
for maps and geography and can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around me.
Okay. While she's drawing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, now you can talk.
Oh, Ozzy whipped out his little tattered journal and pushes an ink and quill out onto the table.
Perfect.
Here, use pages and Beck.
That's where Navi does that.
All right. And as she's drawing, Bree kind of comes out. She's got 2 platters. Actually, it would be kind of like the carrying tray, and it has 3 plates. That's right. There's 3 of you here, as well as a smaller plate in her other hand. And she kind of wanders out. And Navi, you're still sitting on the floor, right?
No, I'm like standing, leaning over, or probably on my knees, leaning over the table.
Okay.
drawing.
Bree kind of wanders over and sets down a. What was it again?
It's an apple risotto, and I smile and wink at her as I set it down.
Awesome. And then proceeds to set the 3 platters in front of Ozzy, Helm, and Bren, sorry. And yeah, as you guys see these, hang tight, you get a good look at the dish that you saw from afar. And what this appears to be is a dish of fish of some sort. And basically this is a pan-fried lemon garlic mackerel dish with a special avocado mix next to it in case you guys choose to use it. And on the side there is a shrimp summer salad with fresh greens and some ingredients used to make the avocado mix, where more whole tossed light vinaigrette. It is a very fancy meal. There are 3
Enjoy.
of them.
Finn always enjoys creating new fans, so I hope you enjoy it.
Out of character, that actually sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm a little drunk, and that sounds too fucking good.
Well, I wish Shadow was here so he could have described it himself, but that was his meal, his creation. So when he listens to this, he knows that he got to stick that in there. But Finn is in the back doing his thing this whole time.
This looks absolutely amazing. Compliments.
Very-
I cannot wait to try it.
Very good looking.
Right. So
We can all
Navi-
agree on that, at least.
a
Well,
common
at least
ground.
it's a start.
Bree, when does your shift end?
It would be starting to be getting dark by the
Brent elbows home. Oh.
For her to join all of us, you.
Oh yes. Of
When Navi
course.
finishes the
And-
map, she'll show it to the group.
Okay, but as he says that, you see this already red tiefling just grow a little pinker in the cheeks.
Mm,
She
Bree is
goes
going to,
another school.
You can't tell if he's frustrated or blushing.
Bree glances over at. She doesn't know his name yet because he has not, Okay. Anyway, she looks at him. Not you. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at Caleb. or whoever it is. Sorry.
Gayley!
God.
Gosh. Okay. She looks over at him. Do you think you could tell me your name before you start deciding who I'm jumping in bed with?
I didn't say anything about bed. Aussie doesn't strike me as the assertive type, but anyway. Bren Halloum. Nice to meet you.
Well, Bren Halloum. You could get to know a lady before you start making assumptions.
It was less about you and more about his fake place with fake girlfriend. If it makes
No
you
one
feel
said anything about girlfriend.
How do you know it's fake?
As you say this, Bree, Navi turns. She kind of turns that journal back around, opens it wide, and slides it forward, having shown you a general coastline of what appears to be a new continent with a few labels of towns and you can kind of see the rough idea of where mountain ranges would lay and possibly
Yeah,
a
mountain
couple
ranges.
markings of what's that?
Mountain ranges are pretty obvious.
Yeah, the mountain ranges are pretty distinctive. Like you could tell that's probably where she spent a lot of time. She's got labels on a lot of them, including some spots that maybe aren't even necessary as labels. And this definitely looks like a place that you would think probably couldn't be made up on the spot that fast.
You can't see the air outside, but you know it's there. You can't see the fish in the ocean, but you know they're there. But just because you can't see this place doesn't mean it's not there.
I've seen the fish in the ocean.
Did you see them before they came out of the water?
Well, look, I can draw up shapes too. And then I can, assign random names to these places. Just because
For
you
men of
drew a
faith,
shape.
you don't have very much.
He doesn't take faith in the words of a crazy person with horns and a tail.
Sorry.
I don't think that's what he's faithful to.
My
There's
appearance has nothing to do with who I am.
there's a reason I'm not with the church right now.
You do place a little stock in appearance, don't you? Goodness. That's disappointing.
Isn't that a good thing?
Don't you? She was a dog 4 minutes ago.
And you underestimate things that you don't understand. That's disappointing as well.
Well, a good thing I did not come here to please you.
At that point, I turn around and walk away again.
Okay. Are you guys starting to eat your meal at this point, or are you going to keep looking at them?
Yeah, Ozius is digging in.
Okay. And also, Neld brings out 3 more mugs of ale and places them in front of Bren. He's Bren, Helm, and Ozzy. And he says, "This is the last of what your gold pays for." And he says, "This is my best stock."
Navi looks over at Neld and shrugs.
Ah, yes. One moment. I'll be right back. Comes back with the same mug of ale that he had earlier for you, topped back off with the non-frothing kind of ale.
I'm gonna give him a little glare. Friendly but pointed.
Yeah. He just smiles and walks back. So at this point, you guys are eating. Maybe conversation died down a little bit. We're going to go back to Kothar, and we're going to rewind time a little bit as he wanders away from the party. Kothar, you managed to find your way around to the opposite side of this block where this bell tower was. You immediately notice the smell again, very faintly. You obviously was at the top of, or in this tower. There's a stairwell that you see from the back of this tower. You can smell, if you look in, there's some stairs that kind of wind up in a spiral up this. That's all that's in here, is just that stair set.
He's gonna check it out. He's gonna head on up, see if there's anything interesting on the way up.
Okay.
Or-
Let's say for the entire pathway up, and while you're up there, let's just make a single investigation check. You are looking for signs of something.
Oh boy, investigation. Flat D20.
Oh boy.
Not good.
Yeah, so as you wander up, you still get a hint of the smell. And you get to the top, and there is not a strong breeze, but definitely a constant breeze coming from the ocean to your southeast. A salty smell, and just the barest hint of that smell. As you head, if you head back down into the stairwell, you can tell it gets a little bit stronger, but barely there. I am gonna say, go ahead. From that point, make another survival check.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So as you continue to follow what scent you could track, you get. Did you say you get advantage on smell based?
No. That's for perception, not for
Okay.
survival.
Okay, yeah. So as you kind of wander the streets the opposite direction away from the tower, you notice the smell. It kind of dissipates a little bit and becomes really vague. You can continue to wander and see if you can pick it back up again if you'd like. Give you one more smell-based perception check to just try and reacquire the smell.
Sure. Do it one more time.
Oh,
And the answer is no.
all right. Yeah, so as you wander the city for about another half hour, 45 minutes, just trying to see if you can lock onto something, it is thoroughly gone. The smell has been wafted away by a combination of time and the breeze in the area. You don't know if you can find anything related to it anymore.
Alright, well, he's not too bothered then.
Okay, so where are you going? What are you doing?
There's a docks, isn't there?
Say that again.
There's a docks, is there not?
There are docks.
That's where he's going to sleep tonight.
Okay. So are you just sleeping on a dock?
Nope, in the water.
In the water. Okay. Yeah, so you just make your way over to the docks. You see just maybe the sun at this point is starting to go down. It is just, if you look in the opposite direction of the city, the walls of the city are eclipsing most of the light, so the entire set of docks are kind of cast in shade for the most part, and you manage to slip into the shallows near the docks and find a kind of a cubby hole of sorts in the water under the docks to tuck in. And you're staying there for the night?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So we'll call that your long rest when everybody wakes up. Back to the inn. Yeah, so you guys have been eating your meal. At this point, the sun outside is getting dark. The fireplace is fully ablaze. Neld has come by and tended it, as has Navi at certain points. Neld has kind of got her to bring in a cord of wood. Not a whole cord, that'd be huge. Like a ream of wood from
Navi
out
can
back.
carry a lot though.
Yeah, but I doubt you could carry a cord of wood. Yeah, so it brings in a bunch of wood, maybe just like kind of piled in her arms, almost like cartoonish. She's just got this huge bunch of like fire logs, and she's got like bear hugging it, but they're all managing to stay in this enormous grasp. And she brings it over and just sets it in near the fireplace and just tosses a few logs in. Nell kind of from the bar kind of shouts over, you planning to stay the night? If not, you need to leave.
I plan to stay the night if that's okay. How much for a room?
Of course it's okay, we're an inn. An inn is 4 silver for the night. It gets you 2 beds and a blanket for as long as you keep paying. Each room has 2 beds. I don't know how you want to bunk. If you want your own room, you pay your own 4 silver.
Hmm. Gentlemen, well, you are brothers, so you bunk together. I get the own room. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Whatever you say, fake man.
I am not fake. I am real. He pats his chest real hard. I am real as you. Please stop calling me crazy. You're starting to anger me.
Sorry, fake man.
He gets it. He knows.
Ozius is he turns red, but not like embarrassed, more like a deeper red. Stands up. I am going to bed. I've had enough of this.
All right. Neld puts out his hand.
I
as he
drop
pa-
the coins in his hand.
and he pulls a hand out from under the bar and hands you a key with a large 4 scratched into it.
Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
You have a very nice establishment here.
I try. It's been a lot easier since these 3 showed up. And he kind of gestures at Navi and Bree as she's wandering, kind of cleaning up the mugs left behind, and he kind of puts a thumb back, and him back there, he does the hard work. I hate cooking.
Well, he does very fine job. All of your staff is very nice. Where did they come from? Do you know? I know that Navi came from my country, but what about the other 2? Do you know?
Nope, not really. Finn asked me, he came one night and asked me, with these 2, he asked if he could pay for his stay here with a meal, preparing me a meal. I was curious, and it sounded like an interesting way to spend my evening. And oh my gods, was it the best meal I've ever had. And I asked him to stay, and he agreed, and Bree and Navi came with him, and I offered them things to do, and they stayed too. They've been here for a few months now.
Hmm.
I don't ask too many questions. I don't care. They're nice people. They treat me well. They help me out. I make money. They stay warm. They get food. Everybody's happy. Especially when Finn makes that special dish.
Yes,
Oh.
very, very good. Well, I am off to bed. You have good night.
You too. And he kind of waves in a little salute off his head.
Ozzy glances back at the table with the 2 brothers.
They're just sitting there drinking their ale.
He kind of mutters, "I'm not crazy."
Good night,
Walks
fake
upstairs. Ozzy stops and turns around. Is there candles in this place?
There's some torches.
I
Not
make
really
them
candles.
flare. I make them flare up like drastically with thaumaturgy.
Okay, so all of the flames in the place kind of flare up and get brighter, and one of the torches over by the windows actually sets one of the curtains on fire. It's kind of sitting in front of the window.
Stop insulting me.
Fake man has real temper.
Bree,
I
you-
quickly
you
run
notice
over to
that,
the curtain
yeah.
on fire, rip it down, and roll on it, just put it out.
And you do so. It is now charred and burnt along one edge, with the rings that go along the candle, or the holder. One of the rings is busted, so it just sags there.
Bree, you did say if he did that again, you were gonna do something to him.
Ozzy,
I
Ozzy-
walk over and I take the beer away from the 2 men at the table and walk away from them.
Hey,
Ozzy walks over to the table and he cocks his hand back full of flame and kind of blinks for a moment and breathes out heavily. I apologize for losing my temper. I'm going to bed.
Who are you? Are you
And-
saying this to Helm and Bren, or
Yes.
oh, okay.
And I also walk up to the bartender and drop another gold piece on the counter. My apologies. Will not happen again.
Hey,
if your apologies come in gold pieces, you can stay as long as you like.
Without burning the place down.
I
That
am
would be
sorry.
ideal.
I'm sorry. I am working on that.
hey, little man. Watch your back.
You just hear a slow exhale and he just walks up the stairs.
All
Can
right.
you believe that guy?
No, but I am glad he's here.
I know it's like we paid for a jester, but we didn't actually pay for a jester. He was just here when we got there. This is the best inn ever.
Agreed.
As at this point, you guys, Ozzy's upstairs, and you see the owner Neld kind of waddle by with a large bucket of water on like a rope handle. It's probably 2 feet diameter, maybe 8-10 inches deep. Kind of waddles by because it's so heavy. He has to hold it between his legs, and he goes upstairs.
Can I help?
Yeah, you could help him if you want.
Asking him.
Neld goes, yes, take this to room 4 and tell him it's just in case. And, Ozzy, you get a knock at the door.
He opens it.
You see the very large, on this floor, she kind of has to duck down. The ceilings aren't quite as tall. And she's just holding in one hand, just like with a couple fingers, holding this pail of water, very deep.
Hello, Navi.
Hello. Just in case. And I hold out the bucket.
I don't think that would be necessary, but okay, I'll take it, I guess.
What's your
Just
strength?
in case.
My strength?
Yes.
0 modifier.
Okay, make a strength check.
I'm so happy about this.
I'm sorry, I can't type anything because of all the Discord.
No, you're fine.
Damn it. Good God. Oh!
Yeah, all right. As she hands this to you, this bucket of water, the rope kind of falls into you, both your outstretched arms, and you just barely manage to catch it, keep it from clattering to the floor as this extremely heavy bucket of sloshing water lands in your arms.
All right.
All right.
I nod to Navi. Thank you. And I waddle into the room and drop it gently. Not drop it, but set it down
Yeah,
gently
I
near
gotcha.
like against a wall or something.
Sure. Perfect.
I walk up to the door. You have good night, Navi.
Thank you.
It was very nice to meet you.
Navi nods and walks away.
I close the door gently and lay down.
Helm and Bren, you see Navi in giant form come back down the stairs, and Neld kind of ducking as she walks down. Yeah, and Neld says, "Thank you, Navi. I don't know if I could have made it all the way up that." And he kind of gestures over to you guys. So, are you staying the night or not, gentlemen? To Bren and Helm.
I'm in no shape to go anywhere tonight. So yes, I'll be staying.
Very well. Are you two staying together?
That's up to him.
Well, it's 4 silvers to get a room with 2 beds and blankets.
You know what? I'll just I'll pay you a gold piece, and you can keep the change for the beer earlier.
Oh, very well. That'll get you a couple nights. Also, whoever left the armor out front by the horse, you might want to bring that inside. Things have a tendency to wander off if they're left untended.
That was Bren.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's AFK right now.
gotcha.
Sorry, I'm here. What happened? I just literally just sat back down.
You're good.
Your armor just got stolen.
No. I should have
You
let that stand.
joker!
Yeah. The barkeep has asked both of you if you're staying the night, and Helm said yes and handed him a gold piece. So you have a room with 2 beds and blankets. if you
Sounds
both
like a
wanna stay.
plan to me.
He then also said whoever left the armor out by the horse, you may want to bring it inside for the night because things have a tendency to wander off.
Good call, my friend. Good call.
All right, so I assume you go out and grab it and bring it in.
I go get it.
Yep. Perfect.
I was
Okay.
just acting cool. I was acting.
I don't like that. Stop doing that. No. All right.
Bran goes and gets the armor. Is that better? I could
Yep.
dictate my move.
Perfect. All right. So you guys are holed up for the night. Everybody is set to do a long rest and continue in the morning. Bree?
Can I do something real quick?
Yes.
Before they go up to bed, like as they're like gathering anything up, I guess. Well, liege lords, she says this like drivel, like her voice just dripping heavily with disdain. Is there anything else you'll be requiring before you retire for the evening?
Oh, I'm okay.
She rolls her eyes and kind of walks to the kitchen. Then
What
And-
was
Good
that for?
service here at the inn. Great service.
What
Rolling
was
your eyes.
what was the eye roll for?
Yeah, what was that about?
she's already gone.
This, you know what? I said this place was the best inn. It might be the worst inn, actually. I'm kind of going back and forth on it.
Uh-huh.
We'll do it another day.
The barkeep hands you a 2, a key with a large 2 on it.
Thank you.
And then Navi and Bree, you two are staying in the same room as well.
Sure.
You
Mhm.
guys are given. Neld gives you to a room in the inn as well. So, if so, you guys are in room 5, and that is on the other side of the tavern. So there's a stairwell right near the door, goes up right at the entrance, and then if you go straight back past the bar, like go past the bar on your right at the far end, is another stairwell, goes up to another set of rooms on the other side. So we've got everybody in these rooms. Lizard is outside sleeping, so everybody's good. I think we're gonna call the session here.
Alright.
Cool.
Cool.
Job.